volume, wake the crowd. F'nAround, stop the day. Rats and raves, we got something to say.
Happy New Year's Eve and welcome back to F'nAround in the Morning. I'm your co-host, Joe.
Yo, what's good, everybody? It's JJ. Happy New Year's Eve. Everybody going to be getting wild tonight.
Well, not me, but, I'll still be going out with the crew and hanging out with all the boys over at F'nAround. And we'll be going back and forth between, the studio and Little Joe's and, sampling some of the...
What's going on over there? What's going on by Little Joe's?
They're having some people over. Obviously, it's their New Year's Eve party, so I don't know how big it is or how it is, but because of the close location of the studio, I figured why not make it an easy access to go back and forth. People want to be at the bar, can go to the bar, want to go to the studio, go to the studio. Maybe we can get some clips in there, some, little skits, do some stuff that we can get some shorts for so we can get some content out there and have the guys from the podcast out there and hanging out.
Yo, you know what we should look into? It's obviously short notice now, right? But next year, what we should look into for you guys over there at the podcast and us with the morning show, right? Having our New Year's party at Little Joe's.
Yeah, I mean, we probably easily could do it and set it up and go about going it that way. Not a big issue at all.
And make it where you're filming while the party is kind of going on. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So you're kind of at the New Year's party, but for
we can do an online system. Then when you get the tickets, then you sign the media release.
There you go.
Always thinking.
There you go. Yeah, because for the people that don't know, Little Joe's has been a staple in the neighborhood for, the longest time. Joey's brother and some other business partners have taken the task of bringing that bitch back to life over the past few years.
Yeah, right? One of his childhood best friends, Alex Harriet.
Yeah, I didn't know the name, so I didn't want to say him. Thanks.
I wanted to give him props. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And remember they took that over, then COVID hit, and I was there, right? One of the first people on the block, dude, to come up with the drink system that they came up with that went crazy after that. Remember the drive-through when they were working the window? Right?
They were working the window, yeah.
But see, they were doing it. They were one of the first people to do it legally.
Correct.
Remember?
They replaced all their windows to have actually proper windows to allow it to happen.
Yeah. And remember the popsicles. They came in the they were sealed.
Freeze pops.
They were sealed, dude. And it was man, I remember me and Anne went and got one. Your mom was with us, dude.
And then they did this special with Mario's, where if you brought over Mario's, you can get a little bottle of vodka to put in it.
Yep. So they were the first ones to do it the right way during COVID, where
in the neighborhood. I don't know. We don't know about the rest of the city.
No. I don't know that. Yeah, you're 100% correct. But in our little area, because remember, you had quite a lot of the other businesses got a lot of them fines and so on.
You mean they put newspaper up in the windows and kept going?
Ooh, didn't want to put them out there, but he did. That's my boy, though, dude. I'm serious. That's my boy.
I didn't say any names.
Yeah. But that's my boy. And actually,
I thought they sold.
Now, dude, the old owner is still friends with the new owner, and Sonny, Sonny is fucking.
I was trying not to say names or tie anyone.
No, Sonny's my grandfather. Sonny's my grandfather. Yeah, so we're good, and he's glue with them, right? And the new guy is actually, I think you would like him.
Oh, very nice. Well, sadly, I haven't been out drinking.
Dude, just so you know. Yeah. He's one of the ones that I know is listening.
So sadly, though, I have not been able to been out and drink in a while, and I haven't been drinking, so I haven't really gone out much. So seeing me at the bars is a rarity, unless you're gonna stock me up with Red Bull all night.
Oh, and I'm sure I could twerk that out for you. Yep. He actually was very interested since the podcast.
Oh, very nice.
He's been tuned in since then. So he said, he's like, man, it's kind of cool what you guys are doing.
I not, as I said, not saying any names, but I love going there and listening to the music when they do the live shows and stuff.
Dude, one of the very nice spots to do that at. Yep. And one of the other good spots on Taylor Street. But back to our boys at Little Joe's, right?
Yeah. So by the way, if you do listen to the podcast and you hear everyone getting a little slurry near the end, they're the reason. They supply the vodka. They have Little Joe's branded vodka that they make themselves. They sell at Little Joe's and they supply us with vodka for our guests.
And don't they also have a
rum?
A Malort?
They have a rum now too. That they do as well, but yes, they do supply us with Malort for guests as well if we want to get some shots going.
Yes,
that's what you're getting at. But it's not their Malort. Dude,
you know how great it was when it's shout out to your brother and his friend and whoever else is involved in the situation because it was really good to see that people from the neighborhood picked it up right? And now are literally like they've legitimately turned it completely around, right? They got the fucking tacos, dude. They got all that stuff.
The
They got
back
the kitchen
patio,
rolling.
the back
Dude,
patio,
the patio, right?
and
Yeah,
they have the
it's
setup
a
with the setup with the TVs and tied to my alma mater high school, Ignatius, where they can actually stream the games so the parents can watch the games while their kids play and they can drink.
yeah, dude. So everybody go slide over to Little Joe's, man. Dude, Little Joe, and they do. You know what I've noticed too, and I wanted you to ask about this. I remember asking already. Is that their thing where they're doing like these crazy drinks, or is that something that they're doing with like outside people? Because I've seen a couple like different, like Little Joe's drinking or whatever, right? And
So
it's
they
something.
make them, yeah. So they make them and design them themselves. That's Kevin, the GM
No
who runs it.
shit.
Yeah, he makes them, designs them, and does tasting with them.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. And how has that changed the atmosphere over there?
I don't know. I still drink what I drink. When I was there, and I haven't been there for a while, but I do know when I was drinking, people would go in just to try it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see it a lot on Instagram. So everybody make sure you guys, if you guys are in the neighborhood or in the, UIC area over there, Little Italy, always go check out Little Joe's. Mention us at F'nAround podcast and F'nAround in the morning. They'll definitely know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And eventually you'll see us in there doing some recording. And by the way, they also do recording there for, I believe it's called the Blackout Podcast, Ozzie Guillen's podcast.
Yep.
So Ozzie Guillen's podcast does do some recording in there as well.
Yeah, dude, huge, great come up, and they're doing really good things over there. It's really nice to see that Ryan and his friends are doing that, dude. So like I said, everybody go over there. But yeah, so what do we got today, Joe? Today we have a really fucked up situation.
Which one?
Off, dude? Man, did you hear about Robert Brooks?
So I was digging into a little, and I was reading a little bit, and I was watching a little bit, but I know this is your area, so I was hoping you would bring it up. So I'm glad you did.
Yeah, all bullshit aside, dude. Now listen, everybody knows I'm not all black power and black people are so oppressed. Dude, I don't play that role. That's not my space, dude. Right? What I do is I come from the position of like, what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. Right? And man, dude, a fucking tear came to my goddamn eye. I'm not even gonna bullshit you. This came across my feed, dude, and I actually low key was like I went into it thinking that this was going to be another one of them situations where I believe it was blown out of proportion. I'm going to be honest, right? Because I'm not going to lie, that happens a lot, dude. You got there's a lot that these police officers have to deal with, right? So, for us to sit here when we're not in the mix and completely judge on every situation, right? Some of them are a little bit. It's not there, right?
Right,
dude. This fucking video made me cry, dude. The way that this fucking human, bro, he's a human.
Right.
I don't care what color he is. He's a goddamn human being, and this man's getting treated like a fucking piece of, like literally a bag of trash. They're tossing this man around and on top of it, look at the irony. You're in the medical room.
Yeah, where you're supposed to be getting helped and treated.
Did you see the part where the nurse, right? Because the nurse is in plain clothes, basically, in their scrubs, right? They don't have the jail stuff on, right? The nurse is standing there, and you catch the body cam footage where the nurse is like, "Dude, what do I do?" Right. And then eventually he kind of interjected himself and walked in, but he's still honestly he sat there and waited till it slowed down, right? Yeah. But you have countless police officers just standing around watching people beat the shit out of this man, pick him up by his neck. They're grabbing him by his neck, lifting him up, throwing him on the bed. The guy's laying there like this on the fucking bed and getting his sternum fucking beat to hell, dude.
And I mean, when you're talking about you're in a position where you're fearful for your life as an officer, and you need to fight for yourself. There was nothing there.
Nothing. The worst this man could have done with you. Really. Now listen, I haven't been beat like that, right? But I've been in the medical room after like a fight or something where something was heated, where they have a lot of officers, right? It's happened, right? When they get you restrained, bro, if you're known as like a spitter or you bite, they put a mask over your face, right? So if he was spitting or trying to bite them, they all have those masks, right? You have those masks. You can't do nothing. It's done now. No biting, no spitting, right? You can breathe, right? Now, when you get to the point where his legs and arms are shackled, right?
Right.
I don't care if he doesn't have a mask on or not. The worst that can happen is him bite you. And I'm not going to lie to you, with that many officers, if he gets the chance to really hurt you with a bite, you guys should not be police officers. You don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Right. I get it.
I mean, you had this man fully
100%.
restrained in every way humanly possible in a medical room.
And you're beating the fuck out of him. Like, so that's what, and this is where I'd go to pull my thread is, what the fuck happened? Who the fuck what did he do? What was asked? Because that's not
this
just
wasn't nothing this man did.
Right.
You can't blame it. I don't care.
No. That's not what I meant, what he did. I meant, what did he do in the prison? Who did he piss off? What, like, you do something like that. To me, that doesn't look like, okay, you stepped a line. That looks like somebody asked you to do it.
So,
or somebody was upset with you and they crossed the line to do it. That's what I was saying. I'm not saying he did something wrong. I'm saying when I watch it, I'm sitting there like, Jesus Christ, who asked these guys to do this? That's how I took it.
So, man, I get where you're coming from on that, right? But what you'll see is it's my understanding this is corrections officers, right? Okay, so when you're in there, right, a lot of these guys are guys that had no power in their younger adult lives, right? So what does that tell you what they're dealing with at home?
Right.
Okay, so that means that their wife wears the pants at home, right? They have like domestic issues with their wife. I'm serious. And when you've done time like me and Freddie and other people that we know have done, you really get to know these people, right? And all this comes down to, for real, is one of these guys, because there was the one guy in the video that was literally beating the fuck out of him all the time, right? It was the same guy, right? Mm-hmm. A lot. And what you'll see is sometimes these guys just come into work, dude, and they've had a bad fucking night. They didn't get laid, right? And or they just got done beating the fuck out of their wife or something like that, or whatever's going on, right? And then they get to a position where us as inmates, we can't say a word when we're in there about anything. And if you do something wrong to piss that person off, now I'm not saying that that's what went on, right? But the problem becomes is these type of people that you're employing in these prison systems and stuff, dude, they're not meant to be there. It's like they go put up, we always said this was a running joke in jail. It's like remember when you seen them signs in the mall when we were younger and they used to just say like job fair or hiring here, you know what I'm saying? It's like
back when we used to have malls.
Yeah, when the mall was the thing to do, right? So it's like they go into the mall and put up one of those signs, right? And you get so many different walks of life that are literally just looking for a job. And that's not what you should be employing. You need to have people in there because you can tell the difference, right? There's correction officers that are really there to monitor, help, and be security, and they really care about human life, right? They still respect human life. So you deal with that all the time, and you can tell the very big difference than the girl that went on the internet and seen that correction officers were hiring and she needed a job.
Right. So
because you see the ones that sleep with inmates and shit.
Right. And it also brings me up the next question, though. You know how every state or county is different? You know how some counties where you have to go through a program where if you want to join the sheriff's office, join the police, you have to start as a corrections officer. I wonder what that program works like for there. Was it Oneida
Yeah, because
County?
like in Cook County, so good example. In Cook County, you have to spend time in the car, right? Mm-hmm. So you're on like a rotation. So when you change your rotation and you get your whatever it's called changed, you very well might be in the car as a Cook County sheriff for that rotation, right? So you got to go out and be a police officer.
Right.
But then the next time it comes around, right, you might be on Division II Dorm 4.
Right. And I'm not making excuses for it, but I'm just curious from like a mental perspective. Like,
no, 100%. Yeah.
Because just like you were saying, some guy just grabbing it at a mall, it could also be someone who's like ready for the streets and trying to like get into that attitude. Yes. And that doesn't make it any better, but it just shows the type of people they're letting through the program.
And dude, what I seen in this video, right? And I don't like to do this.
Yeah.
Right. I don't like to do this. That's fucking racism.
Yeah. 100%. There's nothing.
That right there. That is what people should be, that type of stuff right there, like that, to that point, right? Because you really do have a situation, right, where look in that video, dude, a bunch of white motherfuckers. I don't know if there was, I'll go back and I will actually fact check myself and I'll watch all the video that we can find, right? But what I can tell you is that was just pure racism and a human being taking advantage of another human being because there was a position of power.
I could agree with you 100% on that one. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no excuses.
That's cut and dry, dude. I'm sorry. That's cut and dry. And if we get anybody that hears this segment that we're talking about right now that would like to give their input, right? I would love to get you on here, and it would be an honor.
Yeah,
it would be an absolute honor to get somebody in here who can shine some more light on because we're not from New York, so I could tell you everything about the Cook County, justice system and stuff like that because I've been involved in there, right? But this lady, I believe her name is Latia.
I do not know.
Latia James, I believe, is the New York State Attorney General. Right, that's who this is. This article I'm reading is on her website. Right, I'd like to hear people from her camp, please. I'd like to hear from people.
Yeah, like how are you going to? I mean, the fact that the FBI jumped in this quickly and they said they're going to investigate.
And I'm not attacking. I want to point that out. I'm not attacking. Right.
Right.
I want to know how something like this happened, and if there's things that like were really like out of your control. Right. I mean, I understand that this very well could have. No control. You could have had no control over this, but if that was out of your control, how do we change it now? Because I'm telling you, something like that can't happen.
Never. But as I was trying to say, like the FBI, right? Like the fact they're already getting involved, that means they know no matter what you bring up or what you say, this is inexcusable. Because how often do they move that quickly?
No, dude, listen, this is like
exactly. I mean, normally everybody hides with their dick in their hands behind a wall. Hoping that the body cams don't come out or that they can show it from a different angle. Yeah.
Well, exactly. So now we're going to get into what I'm going to get into. This might be a little bit of controversy here. You know how I like to do it. We're effing around, baby. Mm-hmm. Major difference between this and George Floyd.
100% big difference.
Major difference. Now, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to give my position on what I believe was right or wrong over there because that's a very touchy subject to a lot of people still.
Subject easier to stay off of.
Yes, but I can tell you that there are legal things being done, right? When they are completed, I will give a legal standpoint. So that's what I will do. Because there has been some updates in his case, right? In that situation. There's been some good updates. People can definitely go check them out. I think it's worth a look, right? That's what I did, right? But when I seen the George Floyd situation, right? Exactly like you just pointed out. Let me check out a different angle.
Right.
Let me see. Let me dive into this a little bit and see really what was to this. Right. With this, I'm not even kidding you, Joe. I shed a tear. I was
every other angle he's cuffed up.
It doesn't, and they got a bunch of them.
Right, but that's what I mean. But
didn't they say there's like 9 body cams?
But the thing is that the other angles in this situation probably make it worse.
Yeah. You didn't need to see another angle, dude.
Every other angle is bad.
Listen, when they picked up that man, right? By his neck against the wall towards the end of the situation, right? When that man picked him up by his neck that way after beating his sternum consistently, right? And you then threw him on the gurney, right? And then everybody's like in the comments, everybody's like, oh, he was still breathing. Listen, still breathing got nothing to do with it, man.
That was like something out of a movie where you got like Ivan or whatever from fucking Russia beating the hell out of somebody.
Yeah.
Like where he's like propping him up just to keep the beating going. It's like it was if whatever the guy's name, Ivan or whatever he was from Rocky, I forgot his name at this point. If he had handcuffed up
Drago.
If Drago handcuffed up Apollo and they kept picking him up to keep going.
So now let's play now for real. We like to do this, right?
Yeah.
So now let's go to the worst case scenario, right? Let's just say that this inmate, right, which I don't know if this was happening, right? But let's just say that this inmate was in the middle of stabbing somebody in their cell, right? So let's go to a very horrific situation, and let's take it to there, right? It still doesn't make it. I can't make it a lie, dude.
Right.
I can't.
That's why I said, remember in the beginning, for that to be that extreme and that bad, it made me think who was asked him to do it? You know what I mean? It almost looked like it was set to happen that way. Remember how they used to bring you out back and like beat you?
Listen, for what reason, though, Joe? Let's think about it this way, right? Now let's go with what you're saying, right? So let's say Man, I don't even fucking know. What could an inmate do to a fucking CO that would bother him to the
I
point?
was never saying bother a CEO. I was saying he had a fight with somebody else and CO was paid off. That's how I was viewing it. That's where I was
Oh,
going. Not the fact he bothered the CO, the fact that the CO was paid to do that.
so maybe some type of like gang shit,
That
right? Some type
I
of
don't know.
gang shit. Yeah.
Right. Because the way I saw that, the way I'm like, dude, who the fuck paid the CO to do this? Like, that's how I took it. Like, dude, this was like a hit. Like,
That's a good rabbit hole to dive down.
Right. Like, this looked like a fucking hit to me. This isn't like.
So now I get it. Now it's making more sense. I see where you're coming from with it. I'm seeing where you're coming from.
Because
maybe
now
some type of vendetta type shit.
Because look at it that way for a second. Doesn't look like that guy had pure intention to make sure that dude ended. He kept going.
It looks like that was like you
but
know
the
how
way
we
he's
say,
doing
you know
it,
how we say to the artist, we understand the assignment, right?
Right.
It looks like dude understood the assignment.
He understood the assignment to a fucking T. And,
yeah, okay.
And the way he's doing it too is he knew pictures of the guy's face was gonna go get out.
Man,
think about it. Like, when you beat the face is the fucking evidence everyone does it against you, right?
But listen though, man. Now I'm gonna poke holes in it a little bit.
Poke away. I'm just saying that was my first thought.
Listen. That's good. It's good because now we get to do this for the people that are watching, right?
Right.
So now let's say that's the case. Don't you think that price tag would have had to been mighty big? A lot of body cams.
100% mighty big, or the leverage was mighty heavy.
Ooh. Okay.
Because remember, paying a CO to do something doesn't always mean you're paying with money. You may be paying him back his life, his wife, his kid. You don't know the situation. But the fact is, as you said, an artist knows his art, right? Yeah. Look at that. You're looking at that, and you tell me, in any frustration or rage you've ever been in or you see people in, like, look at that angle, look how he's doing. That's an artist doing an art. That's not a fit of rage.
Man, that's
because a fit of rage wouldn't have picked him back up. He would have went down with him.
Man, listen, it's a good theory. I will give
just
you
a theory, just a hypothetical theory. There's no, we don't know anything.
Theory,
we're not going
theory,
based off of watching a shitload of fucking movies our whole life and seeing different angles.
I'm gonna personally stick with these guys are just straight pieces of shit.
Yeah,
right. I'm serious because what you'll see is
that doesn't prove my theory's wrong.
No.
Shit.
No. I'm saying like to the point where this had something to do with really a lot of power struggle type shit, right?
And the only person, and here's where I get upset too. It's not just the people who are watching were worse than the guy who did it.
Mm-hmm.
So the people watching, 100% all pieces of shit.
And even that gets down to the nurse that did intervene, right?
Yeah.
That gets down to the nurse, man. Listen, I'm sorry. As a nurse, you have don't you give an oath? Don't you give an oath?
So did they, though.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah. So oaths mean shit. I mean, hell, if we had to help. No, I know, but look at politicians, look at officers. Hell, look at fucking priests. Like, to a fucking T. Name one fucking one position of power in our fucking country that holds to their fucking oath. That somebody one time or another, not every person, but somebody one time or another in that position broke that oath.
Yeah. It's unfucking real, dude. So I wanna do a lot of research on this, right? I'm gonna get the team on this actually. And actually what I think we should do, right? Let's get the guys to talk about it.
Yeah. I'll ask them.
What do you think? No. You guys also. I know you guys are. I'm talking about the artists, right?
Oh, the artists. Yeah.
Let's get them to talk about it. Let's get their takes on it.
I think it's a great idea to talk about it. I mean, they would probably have a great opinion. I mean, I'd love to hear some artists who've been in the system as well who could think of what would make that happen. Think about it just like you've been in. You saw it. What about other points of view of people that were in the system of what in the world could they have done to get it like this? Because not saying it was deserved, we both know it's not deserved no matter what he did.
Yeah, no, but 100%.
Just like you and I were just going down the rabbit hole and I was giving my hypotheticals. Hypothetically, what the fuck could have led to that?
Yeah, what happened? You know what I'm saying? What happened?
Without knowing the situation.
Yeah.
Like, as we said, we're watching an artist do his art. How do they take that?
Hey, listen, I know Brittany and them, they have a lot of they got a lot of what's it called? A lot of connections out that way. You think maybe they can get somebody to give us a take on it on the show maybe tomorrow?
I
or
can
something?
ask. I
The
can.
next day?
That's all we can do is ask. Only difference is with tomorrow being New Year's, I don't know about tomorrow.
Well, even if it's not, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I'm saying ask
Yeah.
tomorrow, right? Maybe
You
we
know who
can
else?
get a take
You
on
know
it.
who else would be a good person to talk to about it? The guy she introduced you to.
Mm.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
Maybe you should reach out to him and get his thoughts on it and see if he wants to talk about it. That would be a good person to ask about this.
Most definitely, he would be a great person to
Yeah.
ask about the situation.
Yeah. See?
I
Look,
like it.
we just went down the rabbit hole to find the right person.
Yeah, I do like it. Very nice. Yeah, we definitely. I want to get some takes on this, dude. I'm serious. I really want to get some takes on this.
I want to see what happens with this goes, or if something else is going to pop up huge in the news to make this drop again.
Yeah, we just we'll have to see.
Right.
We'll have
because
to fucking see. But you know, rest in peace to Robert Brooks, dude. You know,
you didn't deserve that way.
Our condolences go out to your family, and your loved ones and shit from everybody at the station, obviously too. Everybody at F'nAround and 312 all.
Yeah.
Right. That's
and if you had
crazy.
any kids, no one deserved to see this.
And you know what? This is Marcy Correctional Facility, right? So let's make sure we take a dive into that too.
Yep. Over in Oneida County or something, I believe. Oneida, however you say it.
Oneida, I believe it is Oneida.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and if anybody from that area would like to give us our take, we already mentioned that we would love to hear it too.
Exactly. I mean, yeah,
man, fucking sad shit, dude, sad shit. But let's get on to something else that's also
there's
another.
Not. Yeah, I was gonna say there's not really much stuff that's not sad.
I
but
mean, dude, goddamn, Joe, what the fuck's wrong with the world, man? Can't we get some good shit to talk about?
But this talking about how failures in government, how things are going. You know, this is a perfect thing to talk about what the governors are already doing, attorney generals.
But you know what? I would always rather, you know, I mean, we obviously can't have it happen, right? But
right.
You know what would be better? If we were able to come on here and say that there's a lot more good being done than bad, and the bad that we're talking about is just, you know, to bring some light to topics. Right now, we have to talk about the bad more. Yeah. Because nobody is.
Not only nobody is, that's all there really is, sadly. Like the majority of it, it's like the bridge builder analogy. Like if you doesn't matter what you do one really fucked up thing and it's going to push everything else away. Like you were talking about last time, like the diddler came out and no one talked about Trump's attempted assassin again.
Yeah. Yeah. And nothing's been spoke about that.
Nothing's
been spoke about that since then, dude. They're trying to stay off of that like no end, dude. And it's fucking crazy. But you know, so Joe, tell us a little bit about this Korean plane crash you were just talking to me about.
So yeah, it's actually kind of interesting to me. So it's a plane, about 179 people supposedly died, maybe 177, 179. I'm not specific on it.
Yeah,
it's actually really, yeah, it's really sad to think about. It's the largest one they've ever had. It's coming down on the runway, and they said it was a bird strike. Like, so what catches me off? It skid off the runway, slid off the runway, but they said it was a bird strike that caused it to occur. But it's already, yeah. So that's where I'm confused. But the bird
must have been flying pretty low.
Right. And not only that, did you see the landing gear didn't deploy? Is what they've been saying?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So was it coming in?
Yeah. I guess it was coming in, but
so it was coming in, landing gear didn't deploy.
And it skid off the runway. Yeah.
And they're saying a bird hit the D-Day.
With 2 survivors. That's why I wanted you to talk about it. And I sent something to you about it because 2 survivors, 1 male, 1 female, both crew members. But the whole plane blew up and burned up and everybody else died, but 2 crew members. So the whole situation, nothing lined up for me, right? Especially with the fact that last week some plane just got randomly shot down out of the sky out of a different country and they're blaming Russia.
Wasn't it like Kazakhstan or something like that?
I wasn't going to try and pronounce it, but yes, it was something like that. Got shot out of the sky. Everyone's blaming Russia. Putin sends his regards. And then a week later, a plane in South Korea?
Yeah.
Not shot out of the sky, but if it wasn't 2 survivors, it wouldn't have jumped out as much to me. But 2 survivors on a whole plane. Then you look into the details, like 2 people survived a plane crash. Wow, it reminds me of Final Destination, except people didn't. You know what I mean? And then you're looking at it then you go bird strike. And you're like, okay. Then you go to Hudson River. Like, you remember Sully? Like, okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, he proved you could survive a bird strike, right? But then you're like, wait, it wasn't in the middle of nowhere. It was, slid off a runway?
Slid off a runway.
Landing gear didn't deploy? I've seen so many different, how's it, it didn't add up. It was just one of those ones of, I don't even know how to respond or what to say on it, but it's one of those ones where maybe you just throw it out there and see what you think.
Yeah, slid off the runway, right? After its descent on hitting a bird.
You're right.
And two people survive a fiery fucking explosion.
Yeah, none of it. You get it, right? Like,
I mean, I see. So I enjoy the takes, right?
Right.
I enjoy the outlooks on it and stuff like that. But you know what's
I can't even
crazy
give an
is,
outlook on
like,
this one.
Like, yeah, this one just doesn't really. I mean, it's fucking crazy.
Right. Like, logically.
But then you throw into the Russian plane, the
Right.
Russian shit that you said, right?
Right.
And
I had to throw it in.
We
I
know
had to
that
just
our
throw
guy,
that. Yeah, I had to throw it in. Like,
we
it's
know
just
our guy. We
timing.
can't put nothing past our guy Vlad over there, dude. He's a fucking nutcase.
Yeah, but
So,
it was the timing on that. It was like, oh, what are the odds? Right in a row, right? Like 2 weeks. But it was so many things jumped out as odd. Any one of them alone is like, wow, Jesus, that's crazy, right?
no, they are. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you throw them all together, it's like, what did Murphy's Law just happen? Like, you know what I mean?
Man, we said this. Remember in our first few episodes, right? We said that as we kept going, we were going to be hearing about more and more crazier shit happening before this switch, right?
Right.
And not to say that it's all because of the switch, but isn't it kind of a little fucking crazy that right before the switch, you just have all this? You have Diddy, Jay-Z, this shit with the cops, Biden pardoning everybody and their mother, right? I mean, if you committed a crime, he pardoned you, basically. Right?
You stole from people that needed the money, he pardoned you. You sold kids into sex trafficking, he pardoned you. As long as you were tied to his party, he pardoned you.
Yeah, as long as you promised to keep your mouth shut, basically, he pardoned you, right? So you just see, and now you got the plane crash in South Korea, right? You have the plane crash that they're blaming Vlad for, right? And then you got Vlad, who's basically just sitting back in the Maybach saying, I'll push this fucking button.
Yeah.
Did you hear about their ballistic missile that they have?
No, I did not.
They have made, right? Russia has made a nuclear ballistic missile that they are telling people, and China has co-signed it. Saying that it does exist, that they say nobody's air defenses can stop.
Jesus. I wonder if it fits on a drone.
Man, I wonder if he's just literally, like, I could see the look on this fucking prick's face. He's in his office like, listen, say the wrong fucking thing and do the wrong thing, Biden. I swear to fucking God, I will wreck you before you fucking leave office.
Yep.
I know.
But talking about the flip and what you just said, isn't it interesting that before the flip, they're already working out a deal with Diddy? Doesn't that usually take a long time?
Yeah, they got to though. He knows too much. And I'm not saying the stuff that he's wrong about and being convicted of is, he's allegedly innocent till proven guilty, all that good shit, right? So that's true, right? But we do know that this man has been in some rooms with some of the most powerful motherfuckers on the globe, right?
Yep.
The shit that he's got to know.
Oh, yeah.
So let's just take all of the wrong stuff and everything that he's done out of it. And then you go to now they've been able to slightly tie, possibly allegedly, Jay-Z to it right before the switch.
Yep.
Oh, man. Donald Trump, if they don't get this shit handled before Trump gets in office, that these guys will never see the light of day again. Did
you also just find it funny that the minute they started tying him officially to Tupac, all this shit popped off?
Yeah. Which another good thing to mention that has an honorable mention in 2024, dude, right? The shit that's happened is we're actually getting to the bottom of the Tupac situation now, dude.
And as soon as we get to the bottom of it, they find out he's a diddler, and now they're cutting him a deal.
Yeah. And I can't say this enough, dude. I said it yesterday. Right now is the music industry's time to bring the light back to it with all this stuff coming out, dude. Right now is our time to shine, Joe. Now is our time to shine.
It's the time for the craft and the independents.
And that's in general. Great way to put it. Craft cares, corporate doesn't, my boy. We've been saying it since the beginning.
And craft doesn't just mean growing. It means the craft you care about.
Yeah, that's it. That's about making the smaller guys matter again, right? That's what this is about. That's what this is about. That's what this entire concept has been about, and that's what it's built into the many different things that we see that are great. So let's take that back, and that's in all aspects. This is
Right.
talking to you marijuana people too. Guys like Sam and Ty, dude, they're leading the charge in the hemp industry, dude.
Wait, but how long is that going to be? I mean, I heard Pritzker's chopping that up again.
Yeah, but listen, if we can, we mentioned this the other day, dude, and I wanted to surprise you with this, but we're talking about Sam and Ty and them again, right?
Right.
And I only mention this because I know that there has been talk with all of you guys about certain things, right? I don't know any definites, but I know that there's been talk, right? So what I'm thinking is maybe why don't we get Leaf and Akemi and all these people together and bring this unionizing thing back to the cannabis and hemp industry? What do you think, bud?
I think it'd be a great idea to do. I think it should have happened a long time ago. And sadly, with bills coming up and the House looking at it, I mean, have you looked at other states are trying to go after hemp now and going after THCA and starting to attack it? They're trying to put it all back to big canna, trying to make it all.
So if we let's just say like we officially announced something like this, which we're not doing, right? But let's give the people an idea of what we would need from everybody else. Like, what do we need? What do we need to kick this off, dude? For the people that matter.
For the people that matter, you need them all to agree on a fact of they'd have some type of solidation for lobbying, supporting for bills. They'd have to stop supporting Big Canna and trying to work with them and completely remove themselves from that and stop realizing that, yeah, they can make some money. Remember, I said short-term gains, screw long-term losses.
Thing we just talked about. Yep.
Exactly. A lot of these people get a couple pennies from Big Canna or the bigger companies, whatever craft you're in. They're happy and they're suffice, and they don't realize they're losing out the long-term plays, and it's just being used against them in the long term.
And now let's make them. Let's kind of give the listeners an understanding of what it looks like, right? Because this doesn't mean huge dollars.
No,
right?
it doesn't mean huge. It doesn't mean huge dollars, and you're not talking about trying to do big things with dues or something. You're talking about like creating a holding company with a group for purchasing power. It gives you the ability to reduce your overhead and your costs. You start purchasing products in larger quantities together as a group. You start purchasing your supplies that you need by reducing your overhead even by little fractions of a penny. Overall, that's going to add up and make a difference and give you the ability to compete. Plus, if you all stop fighting each other, even though you are competing one way or another, and you do it like Big Canna behind a closed door and you all lobby for the same support of the same thing, it's easier to get lobby support for politicians when you're not all fighting against each other and you're actually supporting the other side because you outnumber Big Canna and there's more of you than them. They may have more money, but you got more votes.
And also what also needs to be mentioned, right? Because Joey brought up a really good point, starting a holding company and getting everybody together. Now, that also means keeping the, let's call it, management of said holding company honest and true.
Yes.
Right? Not letting people be
transparent
bought out,
and
the big
accountable
players, right? There you go. Transparent and accountable at all times, right? Now, listen, we all know, right? We don't play no games over here. Me and Joey love to make money, right?
Yep.
That's we're not saying that, right? But being transparent and accountable, two very good keywords right there, is how you keep the upper deck, right? We'll call it the upper deck of people, the top shelf, right? The higher hierarchy of shit, right? These guys, that's how you keep them honest. Right. That's how you keep them honest. Well, making money, still making money and still doing great things. But mind you, the purpose of everything, no matter what business you're in is to make money. It's just doing it the right fucking way, dude.
Right. I mean, and if you start looking at the books, you realize nothing is the right way on the other side. They're just paying for shit to happen. And that's what's going on. Like,
it's just a massive pay to play scheme.
Yeah. Like, I mean, did you see that rabbit hole I went down this weekend about the middle of nowhere farms?
Mm-hmm.
So publicly traded companies like spend millions, like one spent over 20 million building a massive facility in the middle of a jungle. Got over 300 plus acres for cannabis, built out a food facility and a drink facility, built it all up. But then they said their overhead was too high and they're running a loss there for years. And they sold it for pennies on the dollar. They sold the whole facility that they spent almost 20 million on it over a couple of years, building out, constructing, doing for less than $1 million to an unnamed, unknown company that had opened an LLC the month before.
No.
Yeah. I mean, not saying it.
Does this seem familiar?
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? And I'm not saying it's wrong or they did something wrong. Who knows? But I'm just saying.
This is what's going on. Yeah, right. Like this is what's happening, guys.
Right.
Just so you know. Yeah, this is what's happening all the time. And this goes back to Joey's keywords, transparency and being held accountable.
Right. I mean, and then you just follow the trade routes and start watching what's going on and what's happening. And as I said, all the trade routes line up. And then all the countries that have the biggest issues with like importing of illegal goods or importing of trafficking of any type of person or thing are also some of the countries that do the biggest investments back into the legal cannabis industry in North America.
Man,
it's almost like full circle.
Yeah. So. I mean,
but not really saying that's not saying how it's happening. I'm just saying
no. We're just following breadcrumbs and giving you our reviews. That's it. That's all.
Yep.
But so this is really another thing I'm going to let the people know that we're going to start looking into, right? And anybody that is interested in getting involved in the situation, I'm going to direct you to Joe, right? So me, I have no problem talking about anything and standing for what people believe in, but when it comes to doing things the right way that they're supposed to be done in that space, let's take it from the kid whose dad ran a union, right? Let's just say it that way, right? Shout out to Mr. Phelan for being the go-to. I'm going to direct you to Joey's way and make sure that you reach out to him and let him know what you believe you bring to the table. I know that Sam and Ty are really involved in wanting to do something along the lines, right? So maybe let's get them in tune a little bit more.
I 100% agree. But at this point, because of where it's in the game, sadly, I think everybody right now is just fighting for this bill to survive. So everybody's sitting there seeing if Pritzker actually chops away at the bill and destroys them, and the government does too. Because as I said, think about it, they let all these people build out all these facilities, do all this stuff across the country for hemp and processing, and now state by state they're going at it. I mean, did you know Italy had a fully built out hemp thing? Not weed, hemp. They're one of the biggest importers of cannabis for illegal cannabis, and now they're trying to kill the whole hemp industry. Red flag.
2 red flags.
Yeah. They're also big on sex trafficking, but who knows? Like, I mean, you're so close to the Vatican there. I mean, us good Catholic boys would never think anything bad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Vatican's super fucked up. Fuck that. I'll say it. I don't give a fuck. I'm definitely Catholic, but I have my doubts, and I'm telling you right now, the Vatican makes a lot of them substantiated. I'm letting you know right now.
I mean, there's a reason the saying says all roads lead to fucking Rome.
Yeah, fuck that. I want my road to lead as far away from. I'll go visit and take
right, like, aren't they one of the biggest real estate holders, biggest banks, and biggest financiers, corporations
one of
in the world?
Oldest banks. Oldest banks, largest banks. They, they pretty much own everything. You can anything that has some type of any real value to it, you could always trace back to some way, shape, or form back to the Vatican. It's fucking crazy. So, and listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. Business models ridiculously well. I mean, if you've held that business model for that many years, dude, you guys know what the fuck you're doing.
And anybody who's been in any business for that long knows you definitely touch in the black market at one point or another. The dark.
You got it, right? I mean, that's what it is. But I really, really, really like this. I really, really like this idea, dude. And I remember that Leaf and Akemi, and I know people that she's around, they were really interested in it. So Leaf is a regular listener to the show now.
The other issue, though, is any people in the legitimate industry, which is the problem, they face isolation and blackout if they try and work or help out with hemp or some of the small craft.
Yeah, but listen, hold on. I'm going to correct you now. I used to agree with you on these things before, right? But I've seen that we can create a situation that's different.
But you got
right? Not we. I'm not saying me and you, right? I'm talking about us as a people. If we can get enough people to believe in our cause, right, and stand with us, right, and not just look. That's the thing we're seeing a lot of from some people. Fuck that. Yeah, fuck that. We ain't listen. We got.
I'm making a joke. No, I know. I'm making a joke.
No. I know, but your joke is valid though. That's
the thing. The problem. That's the problem.
That's the problem. Is it's valid. It's valid because people are scared, and listen, they don't have too much time before I name drop them, because mind you, a lot of you guys have talked to us on the side about stuff, right? But then when it comes time to really stand on it, right? For whatever reason, you get silenced. And that goes for quite a few different things, right? So a lot of it has to do with cannabis. And I'm glad that we've dove into that space a lot more since we started 312 All and everything that's come from it, right?
And it's kind of like a great model, because the one thing that's beautiful about cannabis, I say, it's so new and being built. And everyone can be transparent. We're shining lights on what's transparent with it. But the problem is it's not a new system. It's just replicating every old system. So they're watching the ground be built up of this corrupt system that's in place in every other industry.
In
So
every other industry.
they
Yep.
all do the
Yep.
same thing. It's just the players are different names, the situations are different, but it all ties back to some of the same financiers and same banks and same involved industries and parties all in the back end. One hand always rubs the other, and the little guy gets fucked.
Pretty much. It's definitely something that I've thoroughly enjoyed diving into, and learning a lot that I've learned about it, because as much as it sucks, it's ridiculous that I can't have anything to do with the situation ever because of the way the laws are written. It kind of excludes me from a lot of things that I really enjoy growing, dude. I probably grow with the best of them too.
But if you're
Uh,
in like a corrupt organization or you're a black market dealer, you can invest through a massive fund or PAC and no one would
Yeah,
ever
but
know.
you know what, Joe? I wish I didn't have to do that, my boy. Listen, trust and believe. I'm not gonna lie. I like to call a spade. With guys like Joey around, I could probably do that at a snap of a finger. I could get off this microphone after this call, and Joey could put me in tune with the right person that'll make that happen. But what I do honor about Joey these days is Joey has not been doing business practices in cannabis that way no more. He has actually been a huge voice in advocating for the change in it, as you see today, right? So even though we know we could do it, Joe, and we're very honest around here, we know we could definitely throw some of this money over there and get into a fund, and we'd be involved in it a lot.
I could make probably 2 calls and have a group of guys bringing stuff up from South America. Like,
yep. Real quick. And one thing that I can tell you, and this is honest experience here, when I called him with my sister and my father, and we tried to put this marijuana transportation, which we kind of blue-balled everybody on. We got to put that together.
yeah,
right?
we got to do that story.
We had a really good, and everybody that hasn't tuned in or listened to everything, my father and my brother are probably some of the greatest in transportation, right? When it comes to operations and sales,
Legally.
my father and my brother, legally, they do this like legally.
So yeah, don't be calling them trying to get them a move product.
No, yeah, but I'm telling you, the best. So we dove into this a little bit with Joey, and Joey had to let us know very honestly, like, hey, listen, one day he had to call me up and say, hey, James, listen, we got to take you off everything. I was like, what the fuck you mean? I'm the one that thought of it. I literally said that. That's literally quoting myself. And I talked to Joey like he was a nut. I was like, dude, you want me to be off of my idea? And he was like, dude, it's not like I want you to be. You can't.
Yeah.
They won't give us the money.
Right.
They won't. It's like it's not happening. And there was so much more to it, which we will.
And there was a lot. And there was a lot of other ones where eventually we had to pull the whole carpet out of the deal. But
dude, it was utterly insane what we had to go through based on my situation and other ton of other factors too, right? And a ton of other different random fucking stupid laws that we would find that Joey was like, hey, this benefits this person. Why is it written that way? And why is it fucking us from getting you guys done? It's like fucking it's the way that the cannabis industry is laid out in multiple states is fucking crazy. Actually, in every state. I take it back. Every state's fucked up. It's really been a thorough enjoyment getting into that with you, Joe. It really
I appreciate it. I mean, I'm glad you're in on it too. I mean, one of the things I popped up too, going with this cannabis, actually, I just popped up in the last couple of days. I didn't even realize. Do you know that one of the biggest anti-supporters of legalization in Florida was for the opposition to make it go legal? Who funded it, going against it and spoke against it?
Who?
The Vatican.
What?
Yeah. Did you know Florida's also like what?
Now.
Yeah, no, seriously, you can look it up. They were against marijuana going legal. They went against the bill, spoke out against it. But remember, Florida's also one of the biggest ports for bringing in illegal cannabis too. So all roads really lead to Rome, like you were saying. If they had their hands in it.
Message. Nah, man, listen, my boy the Pope over there getting super stoned, putting these plays together, baby. He's sitting at that desk. He's smoking out of some 200-year-old fucking joint paper or something.
Out of the original Bible.
Yeah, right, dude. He's out there with that. Ooh, I got these goofy sons of bitches.
He's on Psalms 91 right now.
Yeah, right. Man, dude, listen, hey, I really do fucking enjoy the shit that you fucking know about this, man.
It's ridiculous. Crazy, but it's also funny because people always knows what's going on. Remember, I touched just jumping around. Look at all these attorney generals in different states now. Trump hasn't even stepped foot in fucking office. Not even in office, and they're already prepping for legal suits for what his plans are to sue him and to sue the government so their states can have control.
Well, listen, we knew, we called that.
Right.
So
We
go back
definitely did.
to the other episodes, everybody, and go check it out. Joey actually basically said that this was going to happen multiple times, because I can tell you right now, him and Brittany have been telling me this for like fucking God knows, even before Trump got elected. They said when Trump gets elected, watch. I'm telling you, dude, they've been telling me about it all the time.
And their reasoning for it is they don't want more Roe versus Wade's. So they're prepping to basically they care more about they care about their people, and they want to make sure no matter what rules or stuff he puts into place, they can counteract and go against it. Right?
Yeah. Now, Joe, I want to get your quick take on this theory that people have, right? That I'm seeing. You know how you can't switch presidents if you're in a war.
So not really a theory, but it's more of a this is the best way forward concept. Yeah.
So do you think, are they running out of time to pull that off, though? Isn't that something that they would have needed to pull the trigger on already, since people still believe that that's what they're doing, right? Is that they, a lot of people on social media are saying that this is a conspiracy.
So here, but here's what goes back to, even if you are in a war, you can still switch presidents. Like that's how the election and stuff works. The way it works is when you're in a war, it's harder to switch presidents because no one wants to change the horse mid-race. That's kind of like the big difference. It's not like
because Congress and all them will you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like not wanna,
but now going on the fact that that's definitely conspiracy theory, because they just sent their man out to fucking pasture and basically said he didn't have the mental competence to do any of this fucking shit. How the fuck you gonna fight to keep him in the fucking chair?
Yeah, because they can't do two okie dokes, right? So they wouldn't be able to get old Harris in there, right? They wouldn't be able to get her in there because he's mentally incompetent, right?
They should have done that in the summer. They should have done the okie doke and switched her out in the summer.
So that's what I'm saying. They're running out of time.
No,
they're gonna switch.
Right? It's gonna switch.
Okay.
I mean, think about it. They're already prepping to stop all of his moves and what he's going to do, and they're already prepping for the cleanup of what's happening. I mean, we said it ourselves. The diddler's getting a deal.
So there's a switch coming. Our president's going to be in there. Let's really hope that Trump can. I'm going to say this to him because I'm sure he's going to be listening. We all know why too. But listen, my boy, stay off of Twitter, dude. Please, please. Listen. That's the only thing I ask. I know you and Elon are boys.
So
right?
Speaking of that, did you notice how he's fighting for them not to get rid of TikTok when he was the biggest one against it?
Yes.
It catches me off guard. I mean, totally catches me off guard. Maybe.
Well, I mean, what we cannot take away, though, is what it's going to do to America as far as a lot of people make money on that these days.
Financially,
right?
a lot of people are supported off that.
I don't know if that's his opinion of it. I can't speak to that. But what I can tell you is if that is if he's looking at that and he's seeing what it's going to do to Americans, then I could understand where he's going to come from. Because I'm not going to lie to you. There's a lot of people that get their income off TikTok.
Yeah. A lot.
Yeah. I mean, we get an income off TikTok. So, us, me, you, everybody, we get an income off TikTok. So I could tell you it's going to affect us, but we've actually done the smart move and we've come up with a way to combat that, between Tink, Joey, I, and Freddie. So if anybody wants to reach out to us, we do know how to utilize the fact that very well might be happening as a good thing. We have a pretty smooth transaction on how we handle that. So if anybody's interested in doing that, please feel free to reach out to Tink, and she'll get you in tune with the right person to tell you how to navigate that.
Perfect.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, I'm not going to say it on air because I really don't think that we should just be giving away the keys to. But how we transition that people, it's pretty much common sense, right? And the problem is people don't really think about it. But I think that Trump. Just stay off of Twitter, dude, and just don't say stupid shit so that we can really get some work done these next 4 years.
Lay some groundwork, get some stuff done, and because this technically is your second term, figure out who the hell's going to come next.
Yo, I think I'm not going to lie, dude. I'm going to butcher his name, but I'm a huge advocate for Vivek Ramaswamy, I believe it is, right? I can't.
I'm not even going to fucking try, dude.
Yeah, but I'm definitely going to try to dude, I'm telling you, he's a GOAT. And Vance is also amazing too, dude.
Yeah.
I think that he can build a nice situation around them. So, like you said, dude, let's get ready for the 4 years after you, President Trump. Yeah.
Exactly. And with that being said, Happy New Year's, and thanks for effing around with us in the morning. I'm your co-host, Joe.
Yeah, everybody have a safe New Year's. I'm JJ. Happy New Year's. Talk to you guys soon.
Thank you for effing around with us in the morning.
See you tomorrow morning.
All right, see you tomorrow morning.
Effing around, start the day. Lesson rage, we got something to say. Feel the beat, the energy rise. It's morning mayhem, no surprise. We're effing around, sun's up, it's true. Morning vibes just for you.
Sounds good.